So Derrick James does a interview with Fight Hub, and the interviewer goes on to ask Derrick James questions about Terrence Crawford. And like always, Derrick James start to shy away from the questions, but I found something interesting because the interviewer kept trying to grill Derrick James into saying something of some kind of significance when it comes to the fight with Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. And Derrick James just was refusing to engage in that and to speak on the fact that that's a fight that people wanted to see. And throughout the interview, you can tell that he's not sure or confident in Errol Spence's abilities. And the reason why I say that, because a lot of people say a lot of things, but when Bud talk, when Bomac talk, they're very definitive about what they think they can do with Errol Spence. They're very definitive about being able to beat Errol Spence, how they want to go about it, and how dominant they feel that they'll be over Errol Spence. When you talk to Derrick James, it's always a what if, it's always a shaky ground. There's nothing said with any kind of conviction. And the most interesting thing, when the interviewer asked Derrick James, it's like, okay, well, how do you see Errol Spence matching up with Terrence Bud Crawford? And Derrick James says something that I found hella interesting. He says, no comment. Now, this is what I'm saying. If you're confident in your fighter, if you're confident in the abilities, if Terrence Bud Crawford is so out of his range in fighting Errol Spence, like a lot of his fans claim, how come when it comes to when his trainer is asked how he thinks Errol Spence will match up against Terrence Bud Crawford, why would no comment be your answer? Why not say what you feel and what you think? You know, I'm confident in Errol Spence. He'll do this. He's a way better fighter because he said it before. Plus, he's tried to downplay Terrence Bud Crawford's victories before. So how come when he's asked, how does Errol Spence match up against Terrence Bud Crawford, why is that a no comment statement? Like, do you not get it? Ask Bomac that. He won't say no comment. It's the same thing when it comes to fighting. When you ask Errol Spence, nonchalant, don't want to give you a definitive answer, fading in and out, shying away from the question. When you ask Terrence Bud Crawford, yeah, I'll stop him. I'll step on him. He ain't nothing to me. I'll beat him. I want to prove that I'm the best. I want to shut all the Errol Spence fans up. I want to show everybody that I'm not just the best fighter in the world, but I'm also the best 147-pounder. That's when Terrence and Bomac talk. But yet when it comes to Derrick James, there's no comment. Does that sound like somebody who's confident in the ability of their fighter? To add on top of that, you can tell from the interview and from other interviews, Derrick James don't want to fight. Matter of fact, Derrick James pretty much get upset every time you interview him about Terrence Bud Crawford, and people started calling him out for that, and he started to try to change his demeanor. You know what Al Heyman wants. Al Heyman wants him to fight Keith Thurman. We already know what the Aerosexuals want. The Aerosexuals just want to talk. They really don't want no action. They really don't want to produce a fight behind this. So you got all these people who seem to be against seeing Errol Spence test whether he really is the best 147-pounder. And like, the end of the day, to me, that's extremely odd, but yet very telling at the same time. Because I guarantee you, when you talk to Bud and when you talk to Bomac, them answering with no comment, you'll never see that from them. Okay? Because they're confident in what they're doing. They're precise. They know what they're aiming for. You know what I'm saying? And they want that smoke. Derrick James should be like, yeah, man, I'm eager to see that fight. It's the biggest fight in boxing. He's going to be undisputed after that. I can't wait. There's never none of that talk. Never. At the end of the day, it's just a no comment. And that's very telling coming from somebody's trainer who everybody believes is a better fighter than Terrence Crawford. But yet when he asks how his fighter measures up against Terrence Crawford, he doesn't have a comment. And this is what I'm saying. What would be wrong with making a comment? There's nothing wrong with it. Whether you say Errol Spence will knock him out, or it'll be a good fight, or Terrence Crawford will knock him out. Like, nobody's going to hang you for it. So why you can't just speak how you feel? Or maybe is it that he's not confident in Errol Spence, so therefore he doesn't want to speak on something that he doesn't know for sure. So therefore he would like to leave a no comment because he doesn't want to get trapped or have his words come back to bite him in the ass. And most importantly, if you do say, I think Terrence Bud Crawford do this and I think Errol Spence do that to Terrence Bud Crawford, it's going to initiate, well, so why don't you guys fight then? And that's the conversation that they're not wanting to have. But why not? Because he doesn't want to fight Keith Thurman. Errol Spence already told his fans this fight is next, and that's all y'all need to know. The whole world is waiting on it. David Abanesian is out of the way. Crawford's going to be free in May, you know, so it's all lined up. And if you don't want to fight Keith Thurman, and everybody's hollering about a fight that they missed out on between Errol Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford, then it leaves no choice to make the sensible decision to fight Terrence Bud Crawford next. But see, they don't want to talk about that. That's why they don't want to speak on the fight, because they don't want to gain any interest in you asking questions about that fight being next. Because more than likely, you're not going to get the Terrence Bud Crawford Errol Spence fight next. And what excuse could they give you when he doesn't want to fight Keith Thurman? So if he doesn't want to fight, then who does he want to fight? It's obviously he wants his team to make a Terrence Bud Crawford fight, but his team is obviously against it. And that's my thoughts on this. I just thought it was interesting that the trainer of a fighter didn't have no comment when he asked how does his fighter measure up to his opponent, and the own trainer can't even speak with confidence about the ability or what he think his fighter would be able to do. It's very telling to me at the end of the day. But leave your thoughts in the comment section. Bruce Vane, I'm out.